Hey Gemini, welcome back to the channel. Gemini, I've had so many messages coming in for you. It's been hard to even get your reading started, so I'm not going to try to take a ton of time here, but there's a lot coming through for you. So we're going to start with my downloads, and I'm going to pull the quote and the philosopher that I got, and we'll see how it ties all in today. If you guys are unaware, the series that we are doing is in relation to the School of Athens by Raphael Sanzio, and we are relating philosophers to each of the zodiac sign. Today, Gemini, you pulled Rene Descartes, for famously who quoted, "I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am." Gemini, and we all know how Geminis love to think. That's another thing, because I've been unable to stop thinking. And I know Mercury's retrograde. I feel like, Gemini, you're being very pulled. Of course, you're doing a lot of things at once. I was getting something about hands. Hands, like needing hands, or all hands on deck, or something to do with not enough hands, or now the hand in general could be even the ham's a hand. It's speaking to me more about being good enough at something. Maybe you've been called to question your education, or you're retraining yourself in some educational field, or something you're learning, something you need to know how to do, something you're relearning, retaking, something like that. Because the entire time of right before coming into your reading, I was needing to set up, making sure I've got everything set up the way I feel like I'm going through a process of setting something up, making sure I have everything that I need, making sure I've done this before I've done that. There are little steps like that that you're doing. I feel like you're checking the details, making sure you're checking off a list maybe, or you're just checking things to make sure you've done them before you've done them, okay? There's something about that. The hand itself is speaking of really already having everything that you need. You are good enough too, as a matter of fact, if you're somehow worried about that being good enough, or questioning your intellect, or your philosophy, your ideals, or your ideas, and maybe you're trying to back yourself up, or maybe something needs to be backed up, okay? Something needs to be backed up, or your ideas need to be backed up, your research needs to be backed up. Even what I'm doing here, I'm feeling for myself, okay, I need to back some stuff up. This is a very experimental piece for me, this series that I'm doing on my channel. I don't know how it's going to really resonate, but I feel that there, I'm thinking and feeling that there is something out of it. The message will come. I'm relying on faith in that sense to pull the message wherever it needs to come from for whoever needs it. So maybe there's something to that, Gemini. You need to trust that what you know will come through you or to you when you need it, okay? So I'm getting also Enigma, Da Vinci, Plato. The philosopher we're pulling from you today is Rene Descartes, again. And I have some meditations. Meditation is also what I felt the need to tell you. We're going to read from his book today, Meditations, on first philosophy and other metaphysical writings from Rene Descartes. Okay, or Descartes, or I think it's Descartes. Okay. I was getting everywhere at once for you. You were everywhere at once, or doing many things at once, or just everywhere. Your energy felt scattered. But maybe it's also like it's coming back together, like you were scattered, but now you're pulling things back together. For a while, it's like part of you went everywhere. Part of you was doing everything, tending to everyone, going everywhere, and now I feel like you're being guided, in fact, to pull this energy back. Get grounded, Gemini. pull this back to center with your ideas, with your knowledge, okay? Center yourself in the knowledge. You do know this, okay? Yeah, you're like a chicken with its head cut off right now. A chicken with its head cut off. Yeah. You're running around. You've got a lot to do. You've got a lot going on. There's something you're trying to do, okay? Yeah, needing to ground. And also work with this Venusian energy. I'm filming this on a Friday. Friday is very much Venusian energy. Try to work with it if you can. I do believe we just either had the full moon in Libra or it's coming up. Let me see. Double check all this stuff again. Hang on. You know what? I'll just look at it right here. When is the full moon in Libra? Tomorrow. Okay, yeah, April 12th. So today's the 11th. So information. Maybe there's, again, 411, right? 411, information. During the Age of Reason was during when the fresco was painted. 411, it's about information. Maybe some information needs to get out or get to you in a certain amount of time, right? Also something about the collarbone. I was getting the collarbone for you, Gemini. Maybe there's someone injured a collarbone. Maybe you have in the past. Maybe there's something in relation to the collarbone. Let's look it up, shall we? Just take the extra time to look these things up. Okay, the clavicle or collarbone has symbolic significance rooted in its anatomy and cultural perceptions. It's often associated with freedom, strength, and even beauty. Hey! Due to its prominent location and the way it allows for free arm movement, the Latin origin of clavicle or clavicula meaning little key. A little key. That's cool. Okay. Also contributes to its symbolic association with unlocking and opening and closing. Like maybe there's a door that's opening and closing. You're a little key, Gemini. You got the little dragon in your year of the dragon. I remember that specifically. But this was on my other channel. Sorry. And this would have been for last year, but guys, readings are timeless. It doesn't matter when you're seeing it. But you're the little key as well as the little dragon. Little dragon, little key. Okay. Sorry, things are just, it's about free movement. You need to be able to move, to be free to move, right? If you're having an issue with your clavicle, or again, someone speaking to someone with an injury in the clavicle bone. Rene Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of intellect and communication. Descartes' rationalism and endless questioning of reality and truth reflect Gemini's curiosity and need to understand the world through thought and dialogue. Now, in Hermeticism, the ruler of Mercury, as we know, would be the Hermes Trismegistus or Thoth, the legend god Thoth, right? Who created the alphabet. So all the symbolism we see where the word thought comes from, Thoth, right? So, Thoth, do I have an image of him? I feel like he's going to be relevant to today's discussion. See, this is me, guys. You're just going along for the ride because I'm just pulling the thoughts together as I'm receiving them. We know what Thoth looks like. Most of us do anyway. But let's just pull him up here. Thoth, the Egyptian god, just for reference. Images of, what's a good one? Of Thoth, right? So we can see him here, and if it's not good on camera, I'll just move myself. down and we'll figure something out, okay? Anyway, we have Thoth would have been in the shape of his head would have been in the shape of an ibis bird with the body of a man. And you might be seeing birds, specifically an ibis bird, like a crane or a heron or something like that. Might be a sign for many of you this week or soon, or your Thoth may be wanting to work with you. This is Hermetic teachings, the principles that we're learning here today, and where does that translate in relation to everything that we're doing here? Specifically, where does it translate to the School of Athens is what we're doing a deep dive on today, or really throughout this series, okay? Rene Descartes. Let's grab a quote. See if that will lead us in the right direction for you, Gemini. We're already 10 minutes into your reading. I promised I wasn't going to get too long. I lied. Here we go. All right, on 1, 2, 3. On page 1, 2, 3, but we are ascending, right? Okay, cool. I also just got Pythagoras with 1, 2, 3, so maybe you're looking at, some of you are very great mathematicians. Almost every Gemini I've ever known was at some point a great mathematician, or you are definitely into sciences and mathematics. You can. Most of you. Of course, depending where you have Gemini. Get it. Anyway, on page 1, 2, 3 in Meditations, on the first philosophy, okay. And in truth, I have no ground for believing that deity is deceitful. And as indeed I have not even considered the reasons by which the existence of a deity of any kind is established, the ground of doubt that rests only on this supposition is very slight, and so to speak metaphysical. But that I may be able wholly to remove it, I must inquire whether there is a God, as soon as an opportunity of doing so shall present itself. And if I find that there is a God, I must examine likewise whether he can be a deceiver. For without the knowledge of these two truths, I do not see that I can ever be certain of anything. Wow. Wow. You know, way to question everything, existence itself. Question the existence of, that's the point. I think, therefore I am. Should I believe in a God just because everyone says there is? And also, what should I believe there's a God at all? What constitutes a God? What is a God? How do we, what is that? I'm not saying you have to have an answer to that. I'm saying the question is here. And certainly Rene Descartes is asking the question. And also, can God deceive? Can God himself or herself or itself be a deceiver? Of course. I would think. But what would be the ultimate purpose? Really, the question is the God, or as we more like come to know it, I don't know. Is God a deceiver, or is man deceived in his own perception of God, or image of God, the image of God? What is that? Thoth is an Egyptian god, right? I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole of philosophy and religion, or anti-religion, or atheism, or whatever. I'm not here to question anybody's beliefs in that regard. The question, though, and again, the question is, if there is a God, I must inquire and answer the question, can God deceive us? That's what Rene Descartes would ask. Or do we deceive ourselves in some way? Yeah, absolutely. How do we deceive ourselves? when we put the magnitude and the reach of our knowledge outside of ourselves, I think. The fact that we can, it's not so much important that you have an answer, Gemini, it's important that you know how to derive the answer, you know? Like here in this reading specifically, it's not so much important that there is a message for you, although I hope there is. It's important that we know how to figure it out, that we know how to find it, find something, do the research, do the work of knowing how to know. If anyone asks me, and I know this because I grew up as a Montessori student, many of you, I think today would probably be more familiar with, I don't even know. There's another, I think, famous person who the Europeans use a lot. Roger or Rudstein, something. Anyway. Growing up, I learned by discovery, you know. It was never so much important that I had an answer for something. It was just important that I knew how to derive the answer. I knew how to do groundwork. And it's kind of related to this idea that, you know, someone's starving. Yeah, I can, you know, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. It's that sort of thing. It's like, you can memorize something or commit something to memory, but unless you know how to derive the thing, then it's useless to you. If you don't know how you did what you did, then you can never repeat it. It can never be used again. There's something about that. Maybe there's something speaking to that with copycat energy. Maybe there's something about how do you know what you know? How do you know what you know? And that's the whole point of studying these principles anyway. Even Thoth and Hermetics and everything would teach us, and philosophy would teach us. It's not so much important that you know. It's only important that you know how to know. That you know how. That's probably the greater skill. And then sometimes the how isn't important either. Where are we going? Okay. 311. We go from 311, the creation part, right? The discovery part. 3 is, for me, discovery. Very much. It's creativity. It's learning. Alright. We are looking at, I'm going to get one tarot message from you. We're going to read from Da Vinci. The Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. Had this deck for a very long time. Unfortunately, I don't use it often because it's hard. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? It's hard. So maybe there's a message in there too. Everything's a message, guys. Something you're doing or something you need to do. Maybe you procrastinate, Gemini, or maybe you don't feel confident enough in yourself to do something because it's hard, right? Or maybe you put off doing something because of its difficulty, right? Maybe something has to be done in a certain amount of time, or you got to turn something in a certain amount of time. You don't have a lot of time, and so maybe there's pressure to get something done, and so you fake it, or you fake what you know. Or many of us in many situations now, we use AI, and we use tools like this to help speed our thinking processes along. I'm not saying any of these are wrong so long as they're done ethically, okay? I'm actually a big believer in using AI for things, but you know what I mean. I'm not talking plagiarism. I'm talking when you're constructively using a tool like AI to help you, by all means, I believe in it wholeheartedly. There's something about that, actually. What's thinking for you? Are you thinking for you? Is AI thinking for you? First, it's just important that you know how to think. First and most importantly, I guess, that you know how to think for yourself. They say great minds think alike. Well, maybe great minds actually think for themselves. You know what I mean? Great minds think alike. No, great minds think for themselves. It's important. Something again about hands. I'm seeing it could be something political going on. We have the sun here, birth on the split. Yeah, enlightening. We're enlightened. Enlightened, something being exposed. Got it. Or an actual birth. An actual birth. Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands. This is Da Vinci's work. Again, I'm using Da Vinci because I feel like he's the best one that can help us understand some of these messages a little better. One card, please. And we're going to read it to get a better understanding of it. Because again, this tarot is tough. Thank you. Wow. The Nine of Earth. Roots. Roots. Don't worry. I will. And the Nine of Air. Danger. Worried about our stability. Danger. 9-9. 9-9. Interesting. What's in the crown? The World. Wow. And the Vitruvian Man. You might see a reference to the Vitruvian Man, Gemini. If you do, this message is for you. There's so much I want to say about the Vitruvian Man. If you study Da Vinci and his pyramid works, you'll understand why this is so important. Da Vinci, yes, they'd go to the pyramids. This one image alone proves that there's aliens, or can link to the fact that there's alien ancestry here on Earth. Okay, just the study of the pyramids and how perfectly they are aligned can be sourced back to the Vitruvian Man. Da Vinci knew that. Again, messages hidden in art. So many messages hidden in art. Okay. 9 of Earth, 9 of Air, and the World. These look like cannons to me. Some imminent danger, right? Worried about an ending, literally an ending with the world here. The ending of man. Gemini, you're the messenger. You're the messenger. And actually, you're technically, if I had to relate any zodiac to Thoth, it's you. You rule Mercury, you know? You and Virgo, technically. So maybe there's something about, again, grounding this energy. You and Virgo both ruled by Mercury. You would work well. You do work well. You're Thoth. You're Thoth. Basically, you're the messenger of gods. Okay, so you're bringing us a message. Possibly from the future, because the 9 of Air is also premonition. Images, maybe even in your dreams. Your Hierophant, I just turned right to the Hierophant here. I just also turned to the 9 of Water. You could be seeing 91999. Can speak to coming to ends of major cycles, yes? We're seeing that. You're seeing it. I know you are, Gemini. You're at the end of a major cycle. Here we have the World. 6 centuries ago, on November 30th, 1504, when he was 52 years old, Leonardo mysteriously wrote, "On St. Andrew's night, I concluded the squaring of the circle." This observation concerned his lifelong interest in geometric calculations, a study which he undertook in fulfillment of what was written over the door of Plato's Academy. "Let no one enter here who is ignorant of geometry." Oh, we forget how uneducated Leonardo was, but to keep afloat in the world of culture and learning, he taught himself to geometrize with the best from intense and exact observation. Again, you're learning something, Gemini, from intense and exact observation. You're observing and learning. and honing a craft that I think you already know how to do, but you maybe were rusty. And so you're, what's the word? Reviewing. You're in a review stage of something that you already know how to do. The classical architect Vitruvius was his mentor when it came to perfect proportion. Quoting him, Leonardo wrote, "If you decrease your height by 1/14 by spreading your legs and raising your arms so that your middle fingers are level with the top of your head, your navel will then be the center of a circle. With your outspread limbs touching the circumference, the perfectly proportioned Vitruvian man with outstretched hands and feet, head erect and proud, encompasses the universe in harmony and freedom. Within the squared circle of the macrocosm, this figure demonstrates how man represents the totality of microcosm, just as Leonardo stretched himself to fulfill the very limits of his destiny. The beggar who began this long journey as the fool is free from ignorance at last. As Leonardo wrote, it is easy to make yourself universal. It is easy." Oh, wow. Upright, everything comes to a point of integration and understanding and completion in the most satisfying way. You have come through and triumphed. Now you enter into your freedom without constraint. Your plans arrive at the most favorable point. So act with this opportunity as this opportunity graces you. This is an opportunity of immense, not just wish fulfillment, but entrepreneur. You set your trees are growing. You could be planting trees, working with trees. It doesn't matter. Studying trees, working in your garden, even just working with the earth, grounding your ideas. It's like something you're doing is going to enable you to be free and independent, if you were wondering. And it's kind of holy shit. The magician himself behind the Nine of Air, speaking to the future, the Vitruvian man, Da Vinci himself as the magician coming through to tell you that this is a message for you, for the future, Gemini. Something you need to know now, that you will, yes, be stable. You will become an entrepreneur. You will also free yourself from danger. And what is the danger, Gemini? The danger is ignorance. The danger is no information. The danger could also be wrong information, but, I don't know. I'm just getting the message. Okay? This is so cool. 919 is the sun. Well, kind of. 919, you could be seeing that number. The sun. Illumination. Enlightenment. Yeah. Success. And worldly success. And these cannons going off, it makes me think of pirates. It makes me think of it also makes me think of a lot. Future predictions. There will be, I don't want to give that message. We know that certain planets are moving into certain positions of planetary alignments, and the last time they did so, we saw significant global changes, including war. I'm not saying it's going to happen where you are. I'm just saying there's something you need to, like, you hear the thunder outside. There's something you are preparing for now that you're not going to be ignorant of. You're not going to be ignorant of, okay? Moving into your future. And that's what this is telling you to create now. Plan now. Get started now on this journey that you're on. If you need to start that channel, do it. Do it. If you need to put yourself out there, take a leap of faith in the direction you And let the universe catch you, literally the universe. Let your thought catch you. The ideas, the inspiration, the knowledge will come to you when it needs to, okay? Speaking of, really fast. Alright, 2 cards. We're gonna read the 9 of Earth really fast because it was the first card out. Hello. In the upright, you reach a place of accomplishment through discretion, prudence, and forethought. Luck is when what? Opportunity meets I forget the quote. You know the one. The one. You reach a place of accomplishment through discretion, prudence, and forethought, and enjoy contentment and a sense of expansion after struggling for so long. This is an affluent time, or a time for pursuing hobbies. So if you've got something you've been wanting to do, when opportunity meets preparation, right? You were prepared, thought. You just took a leap and started working, and you just stayed consistent. That's all this is telling you to do. Do something, stay consistent, keep going. I think we're going to keep Da Vinci out here for this series because I have a feeling I'm going to need him. One last thing to close and tie into the School of Athens. Remember that, well, if you didn't see the intro, Raphael, over here, the painter Raphael Sanzio, was inspired to depict Plato as Leonardo da Vinci. Okay? And the artists of this time, this fresco was commissioned in 1510. The artists of this time knew that they had to hide code basically in their works, such as we found with Leonardo's works. So there was code hidden in the School of Athens, and even Raphael, who personified Plato as Da Vinci basically in his likeness, told us to look up. Look up. Da Vinci would have hidden his works above somewhere. You know what I mean? And if you know, you know where to look in the symbols. In the symbolism is where he's telling you to look. Okay? In the symbolism. In the word. In the word. In the word. That's where he's telling you to look. The word, the alphabet. Both. Gemini, that's all I have for you today. I hope this message helped you. I hope you did find messages here. And if you guys like this series, please let me know by liking this video, subscribing if you're new to the channel. Drop me a comment. Of course, I want to hear from you. If you want me to expand deeper or go even a little deeper into this, then I certainly will. Thank you, Gemini. Talk soon.